This is the Recycling, Scrap Metal, Commodities, and Economic Report, November 24th, 2025. Produced by Bentley Roll-Off Trailers to support our customers, suppliers, and partners. U.S. weekly raw steel production fell to 1.745 million tons, down 0.7% from last week, and up 3.2% year-to-date. This was on slow U.S. demand, despite the 50% steel tariff protection. WTI crude oil price fell to $58.06 a barrel on oversupply concerns. U.S. sanctions on Russian oil are no longer clear that they'll happen as the U.S. published a proposal to give Ukrainian territory to Russia. U.S. weekly crude oil production fell slightly to 13.834 million barrels per day, remaining near the record high. The proposed U.S.-Ukrainian deal would bring more oil on the market. More oil brings lower prices, which brings lower inflation. The U.S. weekly crude oil rig count rose slightly to 419. Great technology is keeping the rig count low while production is high. The relatively low price is keeping higher cost rigs shut down. Scrap steel number 1 HMS price composite was steady at $308.33 a gross ton, as U.S. demand remains steady. There have been some increased exports, but year-to-date, scrap exports are down. Hot rolled coil steel price rose slightly to $42.85 a hundredweight, which is $8.57 a ton, as slow U.S. manufacturing is bringing steady but slow demand. Copper price fell to $5 a pound, but remained high. This was on concerns over Chinese and U.S. demand. The global increase in EVs and AI is powering demand. Aluminum price fell to $1.27 a pound, which is $28.04 a metric ton on overcapacity in China. U.S. September new jobs rose to 119,000 after August's 4,000 loss. This was a good number, but the trend is down. Healthcare rose the most. Transportation was down the most as manufacturing fell by 6,000. The September unemployment rate rose to 4.4%, which is still low, but trending up, as the number of people employed was higher. Continuing weekly jobless claims rose to 1.974 million, the highest since 2021. This was as parts of the U.S. economy continue slowing. The U.S. August trade deficit narrowed to $59.6 billion as the huge beat-the-tariff inventory works down. Imports tumbled 5.1%, with gold and food the worst. Exports edged up 0.1% with computers, crude oil, yes, crude oil exports, and intellectual property led the increase. U.S. October existing home sales rose to 4.1 million annualized, the highest in 8 months. Lower mortgage rates are helping sales. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 903 points to 46,245 despite a big rise on Friday. It jumped Friday on hopes of a December interest rate cut. It was down for the week on AIP concerns, also on the possible settling of the Ukraine war, which will hurt the massive U.S. arms manufacturing industry. This report is brought to you by Bentley Roll-Off Trailers, Roll-Off Trucks, Gondola Trailers, Lugger Trucks, Roll-Off Trailer Parts, Roll-Off Truck Parts, and of course, Dump Truck and Trailer Parts. This is Greg Brown reporting. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope you have a safe and profitable week.